Hello, welcome everyone. This is Can I Beat This? And this is how to make Baldur's Gate really hard and then beat it anyway. The rules are: number 1, no baromancy, no Gale Veronica in bags, no changing classes, no leveling up, Tactician mode only, and I have to beat the game solo. Party members can be recruited though, and they could be used instead of the main character. I went for the Dark Urge origin with a rogue Githyanki, the medium armor proficiency, the weapon proficiencies. The mage hand cantrip make Githyanki the obvious choice here. Dark Urge will also give us access to Slayer form and the cape, which are going to be too good to pass up. Then I quickly made myself look beautiful and then gave myself a whimsical name. Big Head Fred begins his journey thinking about how much he hates Ready Salted Crisps. He was going to help Brainy, but then his Githyanki racism took over. I decided to attack the imp on the right, and then ran Lazel up the hill. First imp misses and the second imp uses fireball for 4 damage, looking good so far. I attacked the imp in front of me and killed it, and then used my bonus action to use Flourish on the second imp. How effectively we use turns is going to be vital to beating this challenge. That Flourish set up a sneak attack on this turn to ensure victory. On the bridge, I attacked the Hellspawn with my weapon already dipped in fire, hoping for a one hit, and we barely miss out. Unsure if I'm going to survive the next turn, I tried to position myself around the boar to try and make a run for it. The boar hits us for 5, which is half my health, but the imp only hits us for 2. With 3 HP left, the last imp misses. I heal up, finish off the Hellspawn, and then keep on running towards the transponder. Imps both get really low damage roll on us. I kill the one in front of me, and then I get a bit too greedy and I try to attack the commander. I disengage, heal up, and then get out of there before I die. I dash and run through the middle, loot the Mind Flayer before jumping into the space here before edging towards the transponder. But we can't get close enough, so now I have to end my turn next to 3 enemies again. The boar hits us for 4, the imp attacks but misses, and the final imp goes for fireball. But with that close call behind us, it's time for ASMR tentacles.
The Helm's alien transponder. You made it in time.
Big Head Fred tried to recruit Shadowheart, but she was a racist apparently.
Distrust, hostility, because you are Gith.
He sneaked past the brains, muttering under his breath about how they're all stealing his jobs. While trying to recruit Astarion, Big Head Fred couldn't contain his excitement and accidentally had an orgasm.
A pleasure.
Big Head Fred's brain racism took over and he went back to reclaim the workforce and fight for the Brit Yankee people. He dipped his mighty crossbow into a candle, like a man, and then unleashed a sneak attack on the unsuspecting brain. The brains are both surprised, so Fred, infused with hatred from childhood memories of Githyanki teasing him for having a large head, attacks the other brain before finishing off the closest one. Still surprised, the last one is quick to fall. While looting the surroundings, we find a potion of speed and a caustic bulb, which are both very, very important items, especially the bulb. I gave Gale a hand before deciding to save him, as I wasn't sure whose help I was going to need on this journey. Big Head Fred is barely able to intimidate a couple of tieflings to free Lazel. I positioned myself at the top of this hill to start the battle, but I failed to notice that I was dipping my crossbow in the candle, and to top it all off, I tried to position myself away and hopefully get out of the line of sight of at least one of the goblins. Zevlor is up next and luckily gives everyone a free HP boost. Both goblins though are able to attack us, but one of them misses. Now, I've been trying to make a throw build, but I'm still learning throw mechanics, so I make the mistake of throwing a short sword here and it does not do a lot of damage. So I tried to retreat further and pray my HP holds up. Fortunately, only one goblin attacks and it misses. I run towards them and this time I throw a dagger instead. But it's not enough damage. I'm able to survive to the next turn and finish off the goblin archers. The fight goes fine from then on, but then this happens. With Will dead, Big Head Fred and Zevlor finish the battle. Inside Emerald Grove, we buy the Ring of Flinging and a couple of fire arrows and ice arrows. We're now able to recruit Shadowheart, which is huge for the run, so we recruit her and send her to camp.
Lead the way, but try anything suspicious and I'll kill you. Understand?
Also, we're going to grab the hunting shortbow from Damon. After progressing some of the story, we join a pop group with Alfira. Now this next part, I lost footage of it and I didn't have the save file, so this part is done with paid actors.
Nobody's getting any damn cheese! Now move it!
And then when everyone is far enough away, I attack this large stone to create myself an entrance. I then enter inside the temple. This is where that fire arrow we just brought is going to come in hand. As you can see, all of the enemies are positioned around this barrel, and if you shoot it at the right spot you can kill them all in one. Now, I can't reclass, but I'm letting myself change stats, so I do need to free withers. I decided to start the battle from this side. I hit to put a last known location and then stepped inside, hoping that they would investigate, find nothing, and then I could surprise attack them instead. But nothing came, so I tried summoning the Mage Hand to force them to look for me. The Mage Hand saves on their detect and I'm forced to have to use another turn just to be seen. But they're able to kill the Mage Hand and come try and find me. From then on I'm able to sneak around and pick them off one by one. The last guy is pretty scary though, since he does a lot of damage and has a lot of HP. I create a little distance with shove and then shoot him with an ice arrow to try and slow him down. I land a massive double crit and then I try and put some distance between us. He hits us for 5 with a stone, but I'm able to finish him off with one more hit. As I forgot to sort my stats out earlier, I quickly adjusted my strength to 16, my dexterity to 16, I kept constitution, int and wisdom at 10, and put my charisma at 13. While looting, I grabbed a silver pendant and a necromancy of Fae, both of which are very valuable items to have. I also used my rogue deception skills to convince the ogres to help me. Before moving on towards the goblin camp to buy the returning pike and the gloves of archery from Grat. I went and rescued the Grand Duke to get the jolt shooter. I grabbed a spurred band while heading through the whispering depths underneath Blighted Village, before using a scroll of Featherfall and jumping down into the Underdark. We grabbed the singing sword the Falar Aluv before sneaking our way past the Minotaurs. I head down to the beach first to ally the Dwagar so they're not invisible to us later.
A purebred dog of war from that snarl. You can walk.
Then back into Mushroom Village, I steal one of the best boots in the game from the gnome, the Boots of Speed. I then quickly go down and help Balin before deciding to destroy my PC. After that, I hand in a noble stalk to Dereth and get the gloves of uninhibited Kashigo, before completing Amulium's quest so that I get access to his shop and survival instinct. Now I decided to take Glut. We went hunting for a hook horror. I had to kite it all the way back towards Mushroom Village while Glut tanked it for me, but I was able to keep Glut healthy and kill the hook horror. After one was dead, I had Glut resurrect it and went back to start all over again. I don't have all the footage here because this took a lot of time, but eventually we were able to fight the Drow Mage 3v1 and then I had Glut resurrect him. I decided to use 2 tadpoles I had acquired so far to get Shield of Thralls, since it would give us 10 extra HP and a possible stun. Taking out the Dwagar was a lot easier than I had anticipated. This one was invisible, but I was able to correctly guess the angle I needed. The Necromancer was next to go, and I thought I was going to be in a battle after this, but
Actions have drawn the ire of someone nearby. A fight is inevitable.
yeah. So then I knocked the cleric down before finishing them off with a fireball. And then the final Dwagar went for a swim in the lake. We made sure to get 2 hand crossbows before leaving the Underdark. Back in the Goblin camp, I used Shield of Thralls to boost my HP before talking to Abdarak about receiving Leviathar's blessing. I was able to position myself far enough away that the shield didn't stun Abdarak and ended up surviving on 2 HP.
You bore the pain like a true believer.
This earned me a massive permanent buff. Afterwards, when Abdarak wasn't looking, I stole the Ritual Dagger for its weapon skill. I will be using this a lot to lower my HP for the buff. For Priestess Gut, we asked to speak with her privately before picking her up and throwing her over here. From there, it's a quick shove off the edge. No loot for now, but we'll be back for it later. For Minthara, we tell her where the grove is, and then when she walks off across the bridge, we shoot the supports out.
There's a time and a place for
The Goblin is a little angry, but we're able to talk our way out of it and everything is fine.
locked up.
After drinking a strength elixir, we're able to draw Ragzlin at the support to kill him. We then misty step behind the goblins, dash and run away, closing the door behind us to break the line of sight. The goblins aren't able to get near us, so we misty step over to Gut's room, hide and then walk away. We keep going until we're considered to be out of combat. I still need one thing from here and there's a bunch of goblins in my way. I start off by sneak attacking this goblin and they're so close to death that a shove is enough. I then attack this wooden hinge above the goblins. I tried to knock the statue down, but we barely missed this goblin. I decided to use my bonus action to attack one of the mage goblins before beginning my retreat.
With haste.
A goblin dies from burning damage and the rest dash towards me. I'm able to get a bit of extra damage on another goblin before retreating into this room. I go for an ice arrow to try and kill in one and set up some icy terrain. I then use my bonus action to attack before retreating into the room to break line of sight. One goblin runs in, and even at level 1, one goblin is no match for a level 1 adventurer. My trap sprung, I reset it by closing the door and waiting nearby. A goblin dashes in, and when it goes for a bonus action, my heart sinks. Fortunately, it's just a strength X, and we live to see another day. With the remaining goblins grouped together, now is the perfect time to throw a smoke powder bomb. The Warlock lives 6 HP and my final bonus action. I decided to save Volo for his eyeball services later.
Look at this! I'm quite saved!
I start this fight as I ended the last one, but 2 of the goblins save. With the goblin surprised, I can get another kill and some damage before retreating. After the goblin dashes in, I just line up the shot and finish it. After making quick work of the goblin nearby, I leave myself here, planning on hiding on the next turn and then getting out of combat. Until this goblin supermaned his way up the stairs. Halsin finally breaks out. Then I decide to hide in this room and make the ground slippy. I weaken the goblin a little and then build a small mountain at the door. Scared of the mountain, the goblin turns and runs away. I was able to land some nice damage with fire arrow before decimating the remaining goblins with a smoke powder bomb. From there it was a straightforward fight with Halsin getting the last hit. And all that for these line breaker boots that will be our endgame boots. Then some dark urge things happened.
You roll her away.
Before taking the time to farm some gnolls to make potions of speed, we first have to talk our way through this encounter before using this high ground here to ambush the gnolls below. With a bunch of materials to craft potions of speed, it is off to the crash, ignoring the warning sign. I forgot to mention, but we also recruited Scratch along our travels for the fine familiar later on. First thing I did was purchase graceful cloth. Then inside the crash we purchased the gloves of dexterity and the knife of the Undermountain King. Zayfisk for the buff to our livid powers. Before progressing the story any further, I quickly open the door towards the blood of Lathander. This will be important in a little while. And then in the commander's room, we use the mage hand to move the chest into a position where we can loot it. After doing the story, just before we go back to the room, we throw a potion of invisibility on everyone. The commander will start talking to us like we're not invisible, and then the battle begins and then it immediately ends, and then we just run towards the blood of Lathander to be out of an area where we can't teleport from, and then we can leave. I decided to fight the Grymforge Guardian too for fun. I started off by standing here before initiating the battle. I am then going to stand here. This will cause the Guardian to be half in the lava and half under the hammer. I then go back to this spot before dropping the hammer. The Guardian will stand up, ending his turn. Since it's still in the lava, we can use a bonus action to drop the hammer again. Then I use a scroll of invisibility to keep us safe from the ads, moving away from that spot so I'm not detected. One of the methods checks my last known position and finds nothing before the rest of them circle the Guardian. The Guardian stands back up and attacks the methods and doesn't move, which is exactly what we want. I drop the hammer again and the Guardian is left with only 12 HP. But two methods die and give me invisibility again from my cape. I decided to position myself here away from the last known location. The mephit can't find me and then goes towards the Guardian. This is perfect. The Guardian kills the last mephit, but this puts us out of combat. But with some quick thinking, I'm able to drop the final hammer and reap the rewards. To finish off Grymforge, I allied myself with Nier and had him kill Thryn via the dialogue. When the battle starts, we misty step up onto this ledge and try to get away from any ranged attackers. If done successfully, the Dwagar should all buff up and attack Nier. From here on out, what I'll be doing is maintaining high and attacking with bonus actions only. We need to end every turn in high to stop the rangers and mages from being able to attack us. It's a surprisingly easy fight using this strategy, but it's very long, so maintaining your focus is key to survival. The focus order for this battle is any rangers or mages first, and then you can focus on killing any melee. With most of Act 1 content done, we can then move on to Act 2. Anything important that I've missed, I will be back for later. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. I have Act 2 and Act 3 already done, So if you want to find out how those go, you're going to have to subscribe to find more. It takes a lot of editing to get these videos out, so it'll probably be like once every week, 2 weeks, because there's a lot to cut down and I have to do it all myself around work. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, and until next time, goodbye and good night.